After 2.5 years of rigorous COVID-19 restrictions, Japan reopened its borders to tourists on Tuesday, October 11th, with officials anticipating a flood of visitors attracted by a depreciating yen will stimulate the economy. Tourists from Israel, France, and Britain began to arrive at midday. Adi Bronstein, a 69-year-old retiree from Israel who was flying into Tokyo's Haneda Airport, described it as a long dream come true. She told AFP, "We were planning before COVID-19 and waiting. Early in the pandemic, Japan slammed its borders shut, at one time forbidding foreign residents from returning, and has only just started carefully reopening. It started allowing visitors to come in groups with guides in June, and then eased the rule to enable self-guided package trips. Visa-free entrance for visitors from 68 countries and territories reopened as of Tuesday. Japan is also removing the arrivals cap and the requirement for package tours. Tourists must still show proof of immunization or a result of a coronavirus test performed 3 days prior to travel. The Japanese government was on track to reach its target of 40 million tourists by 2020, the year Tokyo was scheduled to host the Summer Olympics, prior to COVID-19. A record 31.9 million foreign tourists visited Japan in 2019, but that number fell to barely 250,000 in 2021. Visitors to Japan will discover a nation that continues to follow many of the health regulations that allowed it to maintain pandemic mortality at a level that was lower than many other industrialized economies, around 45,500. Even though they are not required by law, hotels will soon be able to refuse service to guests who refuse to wear masks or follow other health regulations. Masks are used outdoors as well, despite the government's claim that they are not required there or on public transportation when there are few people around. Most establishments provide hand sanitizer at the front door, and restaurants frequently have plastic partitions. The weakening of the yen, which is currently trading at a level not seen in 20 years of approximately 145 to the dollar, will also be a significant change for tourists. When announcing the reopening, Prime Minister Fumio Kishida noted the yen's depreciation as a factor he hoped would bring tourists. The government has already had to step in once to support the currency. Travel agents believe that demand is unquestionably high. Since the anticipated reopening was announced in September, according to Antoine Chantavong of the Paris-based travel agency Destination Japan, "We've been totally drowning. We don't have the time to deal with all the demands." Nevertheless, for the time being at least, aircraft tickets are not inexpensive due to rising fuel prices and the need for airlines to fly indirect routes around Russian airspace. Despite the demand increase, there is little hope that visitor numbers will soon return to their 2019 levels. Prior to the epidemic, 37% of all international tourists to Japan and 44% of all tourism revenue came from visitors from Hong Kong and China. However, it is unlikely that travelers from China will start flooding back to Japan anytime soon due to strong COVID-19 limitations in that nation. When you will go to Japan? Have a great week ahead, from all of us at Viajo.